Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Hump Day, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, a narrow range over the last several days, and a narrow range right now. And we just had GDP come out here prior to the RTH Open. GDP coming in at 3.2%. Which is lower than the 3.3 forecast and lower than the 4.9% of the previous reading. We have a narrow range that has developed for the last 3 days heading into today's session. This narrow range right here over the last 3 days, you can see, is quite compressed and could lead to a breakout of somewhere between 100 and 130 points of range. Now we have a 4-day developing narrow range. If today maintains a narrow range development here, we could even rally all the way back up to 5120 and still be in a narrow 4-day range. We're still trending up overall. At some point here, expecting a break out of this range. If it breaks to the downside, we could be looking at a retest at 5,000, maybe even 49.50. This market remains within that great uptrending structure, but at some point the structure will break. Right now we have 4 months of highly bullish price action, and heading into March we could be looking at a pullback into the pivot range. That's an area that bulls really want to keep bid for a continuation up toward 5200 rather. A failure here and you're finally opening up some downside, likely back toward 4860 and perhaps even into the 4800 level, which is the middle portion of the next lowest distribution between 46 and 5000. So how much of a pullback do we get if we break this level? That's going to remain to be seen here. Again, we flip the page to March on Friday, and then next week will be our first full week of March trading. As of right now, bulls want to keep the previous session's low bid for a shot at pushing this thing higher. Failure at that level and you're opening up some downside here for the day. We could be looking at 50 to 60 points of range today if we can get out of this 3-day compression. Taking a look here at the NQ. The NQ right now trading 47% of ADR. Ahead of the RTH Open, still a 4-day narrow range, significantly compressed. You can see the 3-day reading here. If we bump that up to 4 days, it's even more compressed. Once we see expansion from this range, 500 to 600 points of range could easily be seen, maybe even more. That means a breakdown here at 17.9 could open up a return back towards 17.4. That would be a 500-point move and retest the recent lows from last week. So again, are we going to see expansion out of this range here today? We will. But like the ES, got to keep the previous session's low bid for bulls for a push back up. A failure at the previous session's low, and you start opening up some weakness up ahead. So big time compression here out of the NQ, with the potential to see expansion of 500 to 600 points down the way. Taking a look at crude oil. Crude oil got our upside target yesterday that we were looking for. Started the week with a failed new low at the previous week's low with a push back to the previous week's midpoint, and we were looking for a return back to that high right there, which is 78.92. Yesterday got right to that level and actually got a high of 79 even. Right now, a little bit of a pullback and bounce, a great little rally here transpiring in the 7 o'clock hour so far, and again, is this market ready to break out from this range? This range has kept prices in check now 13 days running, but it's knocking on the door to a potential expansion day. Expansion through 79 really opens up the upside in a big way, and this amount of compression right here suggests 8 to 10 points of expansion potential out of this range. Now we can't just really kind of break through in a modest fashion. That'll push prices back down. What you really need is a transition day to really explode through 79s and close somewhere north of 81 or 82 even. Something like this type of day here, which broke down from the upper market structure to the lower market structure and really sent prices lower. We need some type of significant breakout attempt. Otherwise, a failed new high today could open up a return back down, and we could be looking at another day down within this range. Until proven otherwise, we are still inside the range, still have an upward bias, still a massive rounded bottom. At some point, that energy needs to come out. Will we see a breakout soon? Need to get through 79, 79.50 to really open up the upside here. But until then, could be range bound until proven otherwise. Looking at gold right now, gold is seeing another failed new low. Failed new low within an uptrending market. Very similar to what we talked about on that early day. It went outside day. This day also gunning for an outside day as well, as it is currently through the previous session's midpoint. Failed new low in an uptrend would open up an outside day up. We have a shot to see 2050 here during the RT8 session and maybe beyond. This market is still tethered to the 2040 level. A lot of days sideways at this level, but eventually an upside break here opens up a return back toward 2080. Looking at the YM seeing a little bit more weakness than the ES or the NQ, especially over the last several days. A little bit of a down move here, but is now testing the rising bullish Pima trigger zone. That bullish Pima trigger zone has been an opportunity for bulls to defend and take this thing higher. We're inside that zone right now and retesting 38.8 from above. This pullback, does it lead to another push to the upside here? Failure at 38.8 and you start to open up a return back inside the previous trading range. Can it hold the breakout point or do we fail? Again, 38.8, the big level here to continue to watch as this market pulls back modestly. Overall, this market continues to show quite a bit of strength from a trending perspective, but really hasn't shown a whole lot of explosive movement out of this narrow range. It had one big day and since has pulled back to the breakout point. Breakout point, very important, 38.8, the level to watch today. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.